It's the time to get down.
I warned you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I warned you.
it's time for the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. I'll say it again. The good news, the bad news, and the other shit. You ready, Vic? Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, I know, man. That's all right. I tell you what, I have a hard time because I really can't determine the difference between your good news and the other shit. The bad
because
I got.
The good it's what they call spin. Spin.
All right,
One of
here we
those
go.
journalistic
Here
things.
we go.
It's the spin.
Here we go.
It can be bad. I make it sound good.
All right, you coordinate.
I learned that from
you
the
coordinate
politicians.
The topics, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I'm feeling you, man.
Well, first of all, here's another one where we got some spin. Turns out they finally returned some power to the Japanese reactors, okay, the ones that have been going through the meltdown. So now they've been able to get the pumps going, and they've been able to get some of the water flowing to cool off these reactors. The bad news is that one of them smoking again this morning.
That's not good, man.
And the radiation levels are 1,600 times normal.
Wow.
1,600 times. So the question we've been raising here at Pack Stereo, are you getting the full story from the Japanese government? We know we tend to indict all governments here, as we are leftist radicals. History is 60s, we're 60s children.
Wait a minute.
Leftist radicals.
Wait a minute. l.t.d, you get a chance to leave out of here.
Well, that's
Guilt by
the
association.
FBI. Well, take a look at this story. And we went to Russia television. You know, we get our news because they don't sue us and they don't try to shut us down.
There you go.
Russia television, Al Jazeera, thank you.
You're going to need a heavier buffer, man, I'm telling you.
It's coming from Russia.
Well, I know.
All the way from Russia.
It's a good thing.
You know, but they're going to tell us all about the problems in the reactor.
I have a funny feeling you're going to get a sustained buffer. See, I tried to tell you. I warned you.
Japan now, and reports suggest workers have restored electricity to 5 of the 6 reactors at the Fukushima nuclear plant. It comes as Japan has resumed its efforts to solve the atomic crisis following unexplained emissions of smoke. RT's Igor Gorodnev is following events.
The focus has shifted onto the impact of the radiation which has already been released. The authorities are saying that in some of the areas around the plant, the radiation levels are 1,600 times higher than they should be normally. Villagers in nearby settlements have been told not to drink their tap water because it contains possible radioactive elements. Instead, they're being given bottled water. There's also suspicion that some of the marine life around the plant on the coast has been poisoned as well, and that may pose some sort of risk to the fisheries. We've also had scares over the weekend and afterwards that some of the agricultural produce from that area may be contaminated as well. Now, the authorities are saying that the levels are safe, but of course there is still a level of anxiety amongst Japanese people and even people further abroad as to the possible risks of radiation. Of course, there is still the impact of the earthquake and the tsunami, which has recently
it's bad
struck
enough
Japan.
you have an earthquake,
The police
then a
are saying that
tsunami.
9,000 people have
Now
been
you got
confirmed as
nuclear
dead, more
reactors.
than 12,000
Things happen
is
in
missing.
threes. You from the south, don't you know
300,000
that?
or more than that remain homeless.
Lord.
And of course, the number of the confirmed dead is likely to grow over the next few weeks.
Wow.
Well, the nuclear crisis in Japan has evoked fears that yet another atomic catastrophe could devastate the country. The only nation to ever feel the force of a nuclear weapon, Japan still remembers, of course, the horror of the event 65 years on. RT's Ivor Bennett reports now from Nagasaki.
They didn't have to show that, bro.
It's telling you, it's Russia television. This is where you get to see how the foreign press. They having some.
This man has borne the scars of nuclear disaster for most of his life. As a resident of Nagasaki, Yoshiri Yamawaki has had liver and kidney problems since he was 35. And he's already beaten cancer twice.
Wow. Wow.
We're going to short that one, you guys.
Yeah.
Having some technical problem. But again, just wanted to give you updates as it turns out. So they got the power on at the reactor. However, the radiation levels 1,600 times. No, I understand they are recruiting in Compton now. Special workers have a free train. Get you to the station, get you over there. Special recruitment going on here in the ghetto.
Is that a one-way ticket?
One-way ticket. But you know what? You know, one of the things we've been doing as we reported on this is to really acknowledge the remarkable courage displayed by the Japanese people.
Yeah.
We tear up the L.A. when the Lakers win a championship.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, here they are, and they are so orderly. So we wanted to show you this piece from Al Jazeera that talked about what the everyday people are doing in Japan to cope and to rebuild, because that's the testimony. Here we go. Thanks again to Al Jazeera as we face the urban buffer.
See, I just warn you. See,
Head on.
This is the time where we.
These
sit
are the
back-
joys of internet television.
I love
You never
this.
know.
When we need sponsors,
The work is fiddly
here we go.
and it's slow, but it is also necessary. Because as the fishermen of Hirono pick waste from their net, they are also picking up the pieces of their lives. Like so many other villages along this coast, Hirono exists because of the sea. And like so many others too, that same sea almost destroyed it. This fish packing plant was the closest Hirono had to a factory. Inside, the stopped clock records the exact moment the earthquake hit. Workers had warning before the wave. They ran to the hills, but their livelihoods could not run with them. The building was smashed, its contents now rotten. The town's small harbour ravaged. 30 fishing boats were floating upright in here. 7 still are. 4 still visible. 3 now high and dry. That leaves 16 somewhere down below.
怒ってもしょうがないですよね。ここで生活
There's no point in getting angry with the sea. The sea gives us our livelihood. Nature brought this disaster. There's no point getting angry.
The smoke is putrid, but it is also cleansing. The burning process therapeutic. Hirono, a village damaged, but not destroyed. Faced with all this, many people would simply give up, move away, restart elsewhere.
I think I would.
But there's a determination here to reclaim lives, confront the sea, and get back what right now seems totally lost. Andrew Thomas, Al Jazeera, Hirono.
Wow. Serious, man. Notice, and you know, you notice one thing they do. They seem like they're so well organized with what they're doing. Very little conversation. It seems like it's so peaceful. Now, if that happened, South Central, we already had
That's
the
what we
Rodney
talked
King
about.
experience. You know what that meant? Protect yourselves, and people went buck wild. So
People can't control. Well, now, speaking of not being able to keep control, part of today's bad news involves Chris Brown. On Good Morning America, I guess that he was not happy when Robin Roberts brought up his past problems with Rihanna and kind of got mad and stormed off the show. And then, according to TMZ, you know how reliable they are.
Mm-hmm.
Not very, but supposedly after the interview, it's been confirmed through other sources that after the interview, he went quote unquote nuts, smashing a window, ripping off his shirt, and storming out of the building. Hence, I want to get a picture of Chris without his shirt.
what did the ladies
Getting a
feel?
little soft around the abdomen there, but I understand. I have that wonderful one pack myself. And let's just say, man tits are a new fashion statement.
That's cold, man.
But he did act up, you guys. It turns out, and let me give you the officials. In a statement, the show made an official statement that said hair and makeup staff said they had called security because they heard loud noises coming from Brown's dressing room. It was then discovered that a window had been smashed in Brown's dressing room. The thick glass was destroyed. By the time the smashed window was discovered, Brown and his team had left the building.
Like
So-
Elvis?
So you guys, so I guess he has some impulse control.
No,
Any
but you know
comment,
what?
y'all?
You know, yeah, you know what? I would have to come to an entertainer's defense.
Yes, thank you, Howard.
In a sense that, you know, I don't condone what happened between him and Rihanna. You don't put your hands on a woman, period. End of story. You just walk away. It's easier to get hit in the back of the head than to hit her in the face. Does that make any sense?
Sort of. He's from the South.
So it's easier to walk away. But when you have the scrutiny of our media,
Oh, yeah. On you.
TMZ,
Oh, yes.
and the little boy down the street with a $4,000 camera and everybody driving in the car with an iPhone to take your picture. You are put under a microscope. We do it to our officials. Now we're doing it to our neighbors. We're doing it to our wives, our girlfriends, boyfriends, or whatever. And when you're put under that kind of pressure, everybody, and speaking of pressure, if pressure can break a steel pipe, what do you think it'll do to the human mind?
At least a bruise.
Absolutely. So to be put into that position, and I'm sure he has not been asked 100 times or 200 times about the Rihanna. He has been asked thousands of times about what was
I got my own questions.
Yeah. You know what was your motive? What really happened inside the rental car and this, that, and the
That's
other?
One fine Mama Jackson.
Yeah, you know. So I'd have to come to his defense. And how many times have we lost it and threw a record or pushed the glass off? And if anybody was putting a spotlight on us, because you know
that's true.
What we may do if we're put in that position. You know what? You better get that camera out my face.
That's right.
And so forth and so on. So and I'm not saying that he's right, wrong, or indifferent, but I'm saying I'm defending indifferent to say that if we were all scrutinized to the level that he has and Michael and all the other people, you may be pushed to the brink of a whole bunch of things.
How many of us want to see a parade of pictures of the people we slept with?
Well, mine would be a short parade.
That's wrong.
Little midget women.
Oh, that's messed up. I thought ain't nobody knew about that.
Well, speaking of scrutiny, I got to bring you this next piece. This next piece right here.
Oh, man.
Because Charlie Sheen surprised Jimmy Kimmel
winning
with a big kiss.
Winning.
Now he's being scrutinized, but I want y'all to see this.
Ideas. I know you. I heard anyway. I don't know that you've been talking to Charlie Sheen.
Yep.
What kind of a venture are you discussing with Charlie?
A lot of different things. Charlie's a smart guy. He doesn't.
Charlie is a very smart guy.
He doesn't get near the credit that he deserves for being smart.
Human guy.
Here it comes. That's stars supporting each other. Run out and support l.t.d. this Tuesday.
That's funny.
So what do y'all think?
Nah, you gotta miss me with that. That's a little too
much fan love.
A little extra.
Male bonding.
I would defend indifference again.
There you go, Howard.
Okay.
Well, here
you go.
Okay.
Well, I think what happens in the entertainment field for a guy to do what Charlie Sheen had done before this, to stand up to executives. I don't think people have really taken a look and a listen to what Michael Ovitz said when he was at Disney, when they talked about how crazy he was, how he talked to people that were underneath him or whatever. Why? Because of the old greenback. When you got the greenback, then you got the power. When you have the power, you control the greenback and all the other backs that come with it.